what is influencer marketing anyhow? It consists of several elements, and I'm going to take you through the definition, the benefits, how it works, and finding the right influencer. Those are the four elements of this presentation. So what is influencer marketing? So in order to achieve the purpose of business clients, influencers should deliver a change in attitude toward the client's brand or product. And the change in attitude from the viewer takes place from the contents that the influencer produces. So the change itself is kind of a psychological shift or process that we experience as individuals. So there's four steps. First, it's about the reach, and this is about finding the right influencer who is available and accessing their information distribution channel. So influencers have their own expertise, and we'll go into that a little more. Endorsements from an influencer can be useful, but they have to be authentic. Then you want to act. This means encouraging participation by creating a secondary marketing campaign to generate a stronger or greater level of awareness to reach more target consumers. You have the conversion element, which is, since influencer marketing is believed to be and shown to be a powerful tool to generate sales, it actually results in sales because marketing-induced consumer-to-consumer word of mouth generates more than twice the sales of paid advertising. So your value per dollar spent is greater. And then finally, engagement. So at this point, building a customer relationship is your key focus, and influencers turn the first-time customer into a loyal and long-term customer of the product or service. Who are these influencers? So they can be celebrities, they can be Instagram or YouTube stars, they can be bloggers and journalists who are well known. But the bottom line is they spread the word about your business or product through their existing social channels. I think YouTubers and Instagrammers are probably the best examples of those who market products to viewers. And what happens is that the influencers are trusted figures within a narrow or niche community, and they have a loyal following. And your company often wants to be able to access those loyal followers. And then these influencers also possess knowledge or experience about what they are up chatting. They gain fame via content that relates to many, and they take advantage of social engineering to suggest product plays that have a significant role in their life and ours. So we trust them. They're not big companies, they're individuals. So they're a trusted third-party influencer that works between the brand and the ultimate buyer or purchaser. So word-of-mouth marketing focuses on using key individuals to drive a brand's message to the larger market. So instead of marketing directly to a large group of consumers, you get to pay or exchange something with influencers to get the word out for you using your own unique style. And they kind of set it up and structure it. So we know that 2 out of 3 individuals say they trust consumer opinions posted online. And we also know that influencer marketing delivers 11 times the ROI over other forms of digital media. So there's a lot of benefit here to using a social media influencer. So what are the benefits of working with influencers? There are a lot of them, so let's talk about a few of these. They create content. So they pump out piece after piece of high quality, engaging content. They are essentially content machines. They are a trusted voice. They have authority and influence. So 84% of consumers make a purchase after reading about a product or service on a blog. Influencers are not called influencers for no reason. They really do influence decisions. They build relationships between their followers and your brand. So without that mutual connection, it's harder to start building that relationship. They already have those potential customers in their following, people who follow them. They live and breathe in the digital space. After they've built their social empire, they've developed a knack for digital communication. They're excellent at communicating a brand vision and message in a way that appeals to their followers. And so you want your brand to be the one that they are communicating to their followers in an authentic and real way. Their whole job relies on how engaged their followers are and how much reach they receive. So there's no denying that they're engaged. But they like to encourage engagement on their platforms. They want people to respond to what they're saying also. They are highly creative, which is a helpful effort for you. So there's millions of influencers across Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, blogs, and so on. They have to stand out from the crowd so they can help your brand stand out from the crowd by being creative in terms of their content, of the content development that reflects your brand. They know their audience because they communicate to them regularly. They basically live with them. They have great insight into how to engage with their followers so they can help you if you are working with them to do just that. Before they can build a relationship between your brand and their followers, they will start the conversation. And it's easier for them to do that than for you to do that. They're also good at converting leads. So from the moment a consumer sees your product on an influencer's page, they're thinking about the product and what it would look like in their lives. So now that the product is top of mind, it's much easier to convert that lead, that individual, into a paying customer. They give your brand access to their target market. Y'all actually are sharing a target market or audience. So you want to work with influencers who are in your niche, as they will no doubt have a loyal following of consumers interested in the topic that is related to you. So if you are working with a sports beverage, there you're going to look for influencers who have a reason to talk about a sports beverage. Maybe they have sports followers or sports gamblers, or they are, I don't know, high school football, but whatever, it needs to be appropriate. And they're transparent. So they often talk about and provide a disclaimer if they were given a product and they tried it and they like it. They're very authentic when it comes to working with brands. And their followers like that they're transparent and genuine. They think out of the box. This is part of that creativity they have. So what you can do is provide them with a general brief of the campaign and your goals. Then you give them some creative control to put together a plan or a program that will work to move your product or service or offer. They also have a fresh perspective. You can't think of everything. Having someone else think about it, they'll bring their own ideas, perspective, and experience to work, and they can put some flair on your marketing strategy and give you a point of view from a different angle, right? And then, of course, they'll grow your social following. Not only are they appealing to or responding to the needs of their following, but you can request a tag, a hashtag for your brand in all influencer collaborations so that you'll grow your following. And that's critical. That's what they're there for. So the big question here is, how does this work? How do you find what you need? So to select an influencer, first of all, you want to develop a plan that makes sense. What are you going to do? Are you launching a new product or service? Is this about an event? Are you looking at a promotion or a contest and you want to get more entries into that activity? Do you want an influencer to help others pay attention to this new product or these events or enter a contest? So if you want an influencer to write a blog post, review your product, or hype up an event, you have to think about what you're willing to give them in order to get this. They don't just do this for free, right? But you also don't have to pay them $10,000. Are you going to send them different products to review 3 times a year? Are you going to have exclusive VIP tickets to events that they'll be invited to? Are you expecting them to post, promotions on Twitter, Facebook, and then do an Instagram takeover for an event? That's critical. So you also need to find the right influencer, right? This is something that's going to be critical. So as you search for influencers, you need to consider the criteria you are seeking. You want them to be relevant. So the audience must be appropriate, and what they do must be appropriate also. So you'll want to look at how aligned a blogger's content is with your messaging. You want to look at their metrics. You want to look at unique visitors, and you want to read through the blogger's archived posts, right? You want to find influencers whose niche aligns with your business, products, or industry. Then you have their engagement. So how well do their readers respond and comment and share? That's pretty important. When you're looking at reach, you're wondering or determining if the influencer has enough of an audience that the content you create or promote together will actually bring you and your brand some value. If you're going to invest in this time, it's critical, right? And you want to see what other social platforms your customers visit. Make sure you do your outreach slowly. Don't approach influencers right off the bat with an offer of a brand partnership. Just start following them, keep an eye on them, kind of get to know them online. In terms of frequency, there's a correlation between how often a blogger posts and their traffic and rate of return visitors. So if they're posting high quality content on a regular basis, readers are likely to return, bookmark, and share. So you don't want to choose your influencer or influencers lightly. And then of course, authenticity. So believe it or not, bloggers who have a smaller ratio of sponsored content tend to be more trusted and to appear more authentic. I know it seems counterintuitive, but that's how it works. So personal stories that include genuine use or mention of a product and service are more trusted than just product reviews. And compelling and engaging stories tend to get more shares and comments, and they drive followers to check out the brands that are being presented. And finally, you want your influencer that you choose to have the personality and style that aligns with your messaging and your brand's values. So that makes your content truly appealing and relevant to your target audiences. So this is one way of managing the influencer that you're going to find. And we'll talk about finding that right influencer in a minute. But this is a good example. So you want to, this is sort of a recap. You want to make sure that they have the appropriate social outreach. You want to make sure they're related to what you are marketing. And then you start the conversation, discuss the kind of content you want, and then get engaged. And you do have to do a little bit of give and take. Maybe it's just a Starbucks card. Maybe it's just including them at the game if you're doing something in sports, right? That's all it takes. So when we talk about finding the right influencer for the brand, where do you find them? Well, there's a lot of material out there on this, but I want to cover a couple of things. So you can use a social media. So with LinkedIn, you can do searches to find influencers. But when you find them, message them about their content. Be sure you know what they're doing, you've researched it, and ask them if they wouldn't mind having a chat about it. But be honest and transparent about how you found them, and then start the conversation. On Twitter, you can use an advanced search function or hashtags. You can join conversations and lightly participate. So as time goes on, the social media influencer you've targeted will start recognizing your Twitter handle. So when you reach out, it won't be weird and stalky and random. You definitely want to be open. On Instagram, you can find micro influencers. They should have 1,000 to 10,000 followers. Take a look at what they post about and look at the reach of their posts and if they've been sharing your updates. That's right, you have to participate. And it's like on Twitter, you can just search for influential hashtags. Always use set alerts for keywords relevant to your brand on Google Alerts. And you can look for influential bloggers by reading through their posts and ascertaining if they write about topics that are relevant for what you're marketing. Be sure and check out their domain authority and their social media statistics. And then there's influencer marketing platforms that you can use to help find influencers. You usually have to pay for those, like Grin and BuzzSumo, BuzzStream, Follower Wonk, Tribe, things like that. And then, of course, to engage with influencers, you will want to carefully approach them so as not to frighten them, right? Use a warm introduction. If you're going to engage with them and you've been watching and interacting gently and lightly, you introduce yourself, you comment meaningfully, and then you create a proposal. What is the give and take here? What is it you want? Be direct and clear and non-threatening. So who are you? How'd you get to know them? Why are you reaching out? What you could offer in return, and how you two might take the conversation forward. You don't have to be specific yet. Follow up. If they don't respond in a couple of days, follow up at least twice before you drop them and move on to the next one. And then you want to construct the campaign around them and their style and the way they interact. So they might do sponsored posts, they might collaborate on an event, you might provide products to them to give to others, you might give products to them, ask for product reviews. Anyhow, you have to be very specific, and you have to have mutual goals. What are they getting out of this besides tickets to the event? They need to feel that this is something that their followers would truly appreciate and think is cool. They also need to be allowed to create their own style, I guess, their own strategy. Remember, they are creative and they will know what would fit. Now, there's a lot of discussion at this time about micro-influencers, and what's happening there is that micro-influencers are more popular. Everybody does not want to be a Kardashian, right? So micro-influencers may have 500 or 800 followers, but perhaps they are all HBU athletics fanatics, right? I would love to have direct access to 500 to 800 HBU athletics fanatics, or maybe women's athletics fanatics, right? So micro-influencers are just as important as those influencers of larger groups, because they are specific in terms of brand relevance. They usually interact very frequently, but with a smaller number of individuals. They are hugely trusted. And they do have brand relationships that are persistent. They will serve as an advocate and they will influence their followers to take a desired action. And that may be to participate or do something that you're hoping to do, correct? So the right influencers can lead your campaigns to success, but it's on you to build long-term relationships with those influencers so they know who you are and they trust you as much as you trust them. You need to consider that you should provide fair compensation, even if it's just a barter or an exchange. You have to introduce them to your networks, share freebies, stay in touch. Even when you're not doing something, you should stay in touch. They're there for the long haul. And doing that will ensure that your influencers are more invested in your campaign's success. I hope this little meandering through the concept of using social influencers is helpful as you pursue your campaign for your market project.